Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Welcome to another episode of Off-Grid Hybrid, where I upgrade to 1.5 kilowatts charging from my gas generator while I deal with the darker days, and future plans for $400 features to deal with the dirty sine wave signal.
You know, I never did a proper video on how I switch over my off-grid hybrid to the generator and battery chargers. So here we go. I'll go ahead and do it today. All right. First thing you do is start your generator up. You know, there's a few different ways to do it. Some have push button starts that I guess you could run a couple of wires to make a remote switch, or the on and off with the manual hold down to start, which you could run 3 wires to. I plan on doing and mounting over here somewhere. There's also Bluetooth style wireless, or you know, at least radio frequency wireless. That would be kind of neat too, but those, you know, probably a little more expensive and more complex, a lot more to fail electronically. They've got inverter generators now, and you know, non-inverter generators like I got now, which the bigger ones tend to be non-inverter, and the smaller ones you can get them inverter. Problem with the non-inverter generators, they put out you know, dirty signals, what they call, and they can be bad for your electronics. So eventually I want to upgrade my whole setup to 48 volts, and I found a 5,000 watt generator that's specifically designed to take dirty power and put 5,000 watts 48 volts into your batteries, and then you can just run a big inverter off of your batteries to your AC to keep your power clean from that direction, which is what I'll eventually do, go all 48 volts and do that. And I'll probably even double my batteries if I continue on this off-grid hybrid route. But my biggest upgrade to date is now I've got 5 Vevor battery chargers, and I would have had 6 had this original one not failed on me so long ago. And I believe keeping these bigger ones cool is the key to success, because these seem to throttle down and wear out over time if you don't. Just for safe measure, I like to keep the smaller ones cool too. Anyway, I just got 3 extras. I had the original, then I replaced it with that one, then I added that one, because these big ones were cost effective, the watt per dollar, but then they were getting hard to find and not so much per watt per dollar. And then eventually these, I can't even find them now at all. So I'm stuck just buying these smaller ones. But honestly, around the $45 mark, these are still keeping up with that watt per dollar if you actually look at the readings on these and not what they're advertised as. But now these are back up to about 55 bucks, which is not much less than what this one started off at last year. So, you know, I got these right at the right time for the $42 a piece or so, buying all 3 of them at a time. Well, 3 to 4 day shipping took more like 3 to 4 weeks. I filed a complaint after a couple of weeks, and they ended up refunding my money. Fella said he'd give me a discount on, you know, replacing these. I checked, like I said, the price went up to almost 55 bucks for them anywhere. I complained about it, said, hey, you said you'd give me a discount. He said, well, just buy them from somebody else if you don't like it. Well, about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days later than that, or maybe a week later, these showed up on my door 2 days ago. And I just set them up this morning because it's my first good couple cloudy days to use them up. So, oh, wait, that's not the first thing we do, is we switch over to power. And inverter off, AC on. I probably did that just a little too slow, but maybe I saved all the settings on all my electronics up front on my home theater. Then I can come over here and turn this off if I want to save, you know, about 15 or 20 watts. Now, these should all come on. Bing! And the fan. Now, I don't remember which way the fans in these are facing, but I know they're all opposites. Okay, now these are all, this one here is not set right, so we gotta set the battery type to LiPo 4, battery type LiPo 4, battery type LiPo 4. That one should already be set. Yep, LiPo 4. That one's already set. 24 volt, 24 volt. Set the volts. 24 volt, 24 volt, 24 volt. Yeah, okay. And then the current, max them out. You gotta remember to, and I gotta double check and make sure I can't. Oops. Hold on. Let me see what I got going on here. Okay, 10 amp, 24 volt. 10 amp. 10 amp. Make sure they all match. 10, 10, 10, 10. And that one there is just maxed out at 20. And let me just start one of these up and see which way the fans go real quick so I can know which way to point them all. I may have to turn this one off for a moment. And I got the furnace going right at them too, so this is very difficult. Hold on, let me see. It might be better with the bigger one. Hold on, the big one's easy to tell. And I know these are all opposite. The big one's opposite from the small one, so. Yeah, with that furnace running, I don't even hear any of these little fans running in these things now. Like I said, I'm not too thrilled on the cooling in these things. Yeah, that fan's not even running. If that's the fan I'm looking at, I think it is. Huh. Well, that's a little scary. Why isn't that fan running? But anyway, I would assume that that would be sucking the air in. So I think I got these backwards. I think I need to flip this one around so the text is facing the other way. Yeah, it looks like those fan blades in there are scooping fan blades to pull the air in, and I see the big capacitors on this end, which would be where it would want to have the exhaust going. So I think that, yeah, I need to have this thing sitting like that so that the fan's blowing across the way the fan's pulling. Okay, I don't know if you remember using the Xiaozhang battery management app to keep track of how the batteries are doing, but I figured out if you go enable developer options and go down into forced dark mode, at least on my other Samsung tablet, it fixed it up so this looks a whole lot better than it used to. Oh shoot, you know what I gotta do? I bet I got to enable the Bluetooth so it'll connect to the batteries, and I'll just do this just to be on the safer side. There we go. Now, click, and it ought to switch over. All right, 41%. I'm breaking even at 8 o'clock in the morning. So let's see. I'm expecting about 1,500 watts out of these. That's about 430, 420, 430. And each of these are about 270 a piece. So let's do it. Click, 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 click. And remember, multiply this by 4, so up to a kilowatt. Oh, I'm sorry, not a kilowatt. Now we're, there's a kilowatt right there, just about. Oh, look at that. At 300, we'll be at 1.5 kilowatts in. Looks like it's leveling off. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 1200 watts. Now it's 13. I think that's, getting up there. I think we're almost at about 1400 watts, if I'm doing the math correctly. So I'd say about 1300 watts is what it looks like it's peaking out at. Maybe 1400 watts. Not quite the 1500 I was expecting, but that's okay. Might have been overrating them a little bit, but there's 16.4 amps, 10 amps, 10 amps, 10 amps, 10 amps, all at about 27 volts or a little more. That's where I got my assumed 1500 watts from. Anyway, that's a whole lot better than starting off at 420, 430-ish, and then going up to about, what was it, 640-ish, 650-ish. Now I've almost tripled it. Haha, I'm almost at 1.5 kilowatts. Awesome. And that brings my charge time 2.5 hours to top these things off if I wanted to do this from 40% on 5 kilowatts worth of batteries. And eventually I'll come in here, get these new connectors and make new lines with the ring connectors and bolt them on the batteries proper. I just got to do what I got to do to get this to work right now with no tools. All my tools are down, trying to fix that just about finishing replacing that RV roof. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to go ahead and call that a day. Remember, turn this off, I do the opposite. Turn the inverter on, let it build up some charge, shut all these down, let the fan run for a minute or so, come over here and generator off, inverter on, and then click that switch over there to shut all this down, shut the generator off, and then I'm all done. When I put a little remote switch and get a generator that's compatible with the remote switch, I won't even have to go outside, turn the generator on and off, just to refuel it once in a while. And hey, if I get a propane one and hook a propane line up to it and got the changeover, then I can just, have the changeover, and then just change the tanks on the changeover. Anyway, I talk too much. Oh, in all fairness, my furnace is running, and I've noticed that it seems to draw about 60, 70 watts or so. And or maybe it's 120, I don't remember, but it's definitely not the 300 watts that the 30 amp rating on that thing had led me to believe. It's a lot more manageable. Like I said, I think it's closer to 60 or 70 watts with the fan running. So, 1400 plus that 60 watts, plus I got some lights going. Yeah, I can totally imagine that that's putting out about pretty close to the 1500 watts I was expecting. And I am getting pretty much next to nothing for wattage. Yeah. All right. J&K, tell everybody that we are out to have a nice day today.
I hope you enjoyed that video at least as much as I enjoy life to make it so far. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you care to, and stay tuned. I'm just a couple of hours away from finishing that RV roof so I can make a video out of that. I've got some more Dome Keeper gameplay and upgrades and secrets to show off. Plus, I've also got to find a new place to stay in 90 days or less, so the adventures keep coming. See you next time.